statement. It's fairly short. Oh, you're still there.
You're good.
Okay, it is a public policy of the state of Illinois that all persons are entitled to full and complete information regarding the affairs of government and the official acts and policies of those who represent them as public officials and public employees. Such access is necessary to enable people to fulfill their duties of discussing public issues freely and making informed political judgments and monitoring government to ensure that it's being conducted in the public interest. That's straight out of the Freedom of Information Act, abbreviated. I'm here in part because of the incident with the substitute teacher from, I guess it was Texas. The cries for help from parents that went uninvestigated, if there was, we've been informed that there were parents that informed at least some of the staff of the school district. If the cries for help from parents went uninvestigated or simply swept under the rug, you have deceived the very people you were voted into office to represent. It is in the public interest that complaints be dealt with. It is a policy of the state that full and complete information on the official acts of school district employees be made available. You're supposed to be leaders of the district. The parents and voters have a right to know what complaints were lodged against Mr. Rivas, if any, in this district, and we believe there were. They have a right to know what, if anything, this district did in response to those complaints. And they have a right to know if any information was destroyed or should have been in the prosecution in Texas. I understand he's probably going to be going to prosecution in Texas. And if he's accused of some of the same things down there that he's allegedly done up here, obviously all the information he gathered up here would have helped them down there. And I'm hoping if he did anything like that up here, he would have informed the people in Texas of what happened. That's all I have. Thanks.
Next on the list is Mr. Kirk Allen. Welcome, Mr. Allen.
Thank you, sir. I had emailed and requested some additional time. I don't know if you ever got that email I sent to the board.
I did. It's been our policy, Kirk, to stick to the 5 minutes if you can. After your 5 minutes is up, if the board has questions, we will ask questions of you. But it's just been our policy for the last 12 years I've been on here to stick to the 5 minutes. Even though we have an allowance for over that, we have not let anyone do that yet. So if you can, that'd be great.
I'm going to do my best. It's probably going to be about a minute over, but I did comply with the policy to request additional time. I'd really appreciate it if you let me, because I can assure you some information that's going to be important. My name is Kirk Allen. I'm the co-founder of the Edgar County Watchdogs. We're a local accountability organization for public bodies. Tonight I'm a messenger. I'm here tonight because dozens of parents have reached out to help because they are afraid of bullying. Not bullying from students to another, but bullying from staff and or administration against their kids if they speak about the concerns as to what has gone on in the school. Let that resonate. A security plan put in place 8 months before Columbine massacre was ignored. Looking back, it could have prevented that tragedy. Over half a dozen serious indicators were ignored, and after the fact, the cover-up began. This is a quote. People are covering up everything that went wrong, and I want those lessons out there, said Judy Brown, mother of a targeted Columbine student. They're doing studies, they're getting profiles, everybody's trying to get programs going on what we can do. Well, guess what? All the signs are there, you know what the lessons are, do your job. 17 are dead in Florida. After the fact, much like Columbine, warning signs were there and ignored. The FBI apologized Friday for failing to act on a tip last month from a person who provided them proof the shooter posted online a statement he wanted to be a professional school shooter. They didn't do their job. 46-year-old Kevin Lipke, now of Conway, South Carolina, has been charged with 1 count of criminal sexual conduct with a minor between the ages of 11 and 14 in the 2nd degree. Who is Kevin Lipke? Lipke served as the principal at Long Beach and Boulder Hill, Illinois from 2008 to 2012. Prior to that, he was principal in the Jamaica School District in downstate Sidell. He left Oswego School District 308 in 2012, where he became superintendent of Pontiac School District 429. In 2012, 2 formal complaints involved students from Long Beach were filed against him at the Kendall County Sheriff's Office, one which was filed while he was still principal at the school. After exposure of his recent arrest in South Carolina, the school now denies having any knowledge of the allegations filed in 2012. We know this is not true. After news of his arrest broke, a new complaint was filed in October of 2017. The father of a 14-year-old male reported to deputies that his son received suspicious Snapchat messages from Lipke under multiple screen names. Lipke was the teen's former principal at Long Beach Elementary. Lipke left the district in 2012, where he became superintendent of Pontiac School District 429 until February 2014, when he resigned amid a state police investigation for alleged inappropriate behavior with students. As a result of the Illinois State Police investigation stemming from Pontiac, Lipke's Illinois teacher's license was suspended for 5 years. According to the State Superintendent of Education, Lipke's hearing, quote, Lipke used his position as principal and superintendent to form inappropriate relationships with young male students and violated professional boundaries of those healthy adult-children relationships. The ISBE statement details that Lipke was confronted about inappropriate relationships with students, quote, said that he had loved one of the students and admitted to kissing the student on the head and rubbing the student's feet before sleep. How has the current superintendent in Pontiac dealt with the questions on this recent arrest? He issued a gag order on its staff telling them they're not allowed or not at liberty to talk to the media. Wrong answer. You cannot suppress a person's First Amendment right to free speech. Had people done their job, this person more than likely, based on the evidence that we have seen, would have never made it out of Illinois. He would be sitting in jail. The recent arrest of a substitute teacher at this district brings serious concerns to our desk. We have parents that are telling us they expressed their concerns over this teacher taking pictures of their kids and collecting personal data to include names, phone numbers, addresses, and even places of employment well before he was arrested. We've been told these concerns were downplayed and or ignored according to the parents we've spoken with. As more parents communicate on social media, today we've been told there are students in Sullivan that were asked for nude photos via Instagram by this now arrested teacher. I've been told some parents were given assurances all photos collected on his electronic devices have been deleted and any paper material shredded as to ensure their kids' information is protected. I asked for confirmation of this in my FOIA and got no response. I asked for all his emails sent and received and was told there were none. I asked for his internet browser history and was told there was none. I asked for a copy of any complaints on this teacher. I was told there are none, which is odd since I have spoken with teachers that tell me they did complain. They even provided me the dates and the times. Under Illinois law, we can ask questions of the board, and the legislative intent is to get answers to those questions. My questions, and I think the first one should be pretty easy to answer. Can you confirm the kid's personal information collected by the substitute teacher, if it was, has it in fact been deleted or shredded? If the answer is yes, are you aware that the information collected during the course of employment is a public record? Are you aware that destruction of a public record without authorization from the Secretary of State is a felony? Did anyone give thought that those deleted and or shredded records may be an obstruction of justice? If the reports are true, the collection of information is potential evidence that could be used to establish a fact pattern on this teacher in the Texas case. Can you confirm to the public that there have been no complaints from any parents regarding this teacher's behavior?
We answered your FOIA request.
That wasn't a question in my FOIA. I'm looking for confirmation that there were no complaints.
I can confirm that we have no complaints on file. That's correct.
None on file, so nobody called with any concerns over this guy?
Any calls or questions that we receive about staff were referred to the appropriate administrator.
Did you receive any on him?
We have received calls from parents who have engaged in social media activity and talked about on social media some concerns, and yes, those have been addressed.
Thank you very much. And I'll close with this. I beg this board to lead the charge in getting to the bottom of the issues and not allow this matter to be brushed under the rug like so many other agencies have become accustomed to doing. I beg everyone here tonight and those that watch the video to please find the courage to come forward with any information you have regarding inappropriate behavior of any public official as to prevent such behavior from harming other kids elsewhere. If you're afraid to speak up, realize that very fear is why we must speak up. We should never fear doing the right thing. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I have one question for you.
Yes,
I have one question. You said that teachers made complaints about 60 seconds ago in your speech. And I think you meant parents made complaints or made phone calls, but you said teachers made complaints about this particular substitute teacher. Are you incorrect in saying that?
I don't recall I said teachers.
But you did.
They did.
Because we all caught it. And I
Absolutely.
mean, if you didn't, I think it's your mistake on that one, because I don't know of any teachers that complained. I don't know, I knew we had parents that voiced concerns, and even us board members hear those concerns. We pass those on to Mr. Blauer, that's our job.
You bet. And if I did say teachers, I was reading from that, I didn't catch that I did that, but no, we've had several parents that have contacted us, and like you had mentioned, social media, it grows and grows, and there's no way to validate a lot of
You're
that
right.
stuff.
And we did too, and we followed up, I followed up with personally some of the people, because I wanted to know more, and I know that other board members did also. If you know the people, we're a small enough community, you don't want to ignore it for sure, and we don't.
You bet.
So
And
thank you.
I'll leave you with the superintendent that I've referenced. I'll give that to board secretary.
Thank you very much.
The information with that is just, there's a lot that comes out after it gets exposed, so that's what I wanted to emphasize on. Thank you very much for my time, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.